In the deep, quiet places of the Australian bush, there are stories being told. They aren't written in books or spoken in words. They are sung. This is one of those songs, a melody that feels as old as the ancient ferns that line the forest floor. The singer is one of our most secretive and brilliant artists, the Superb Lyrebird. For the male lyrebird, his song is his life's work, a symphony perfected over years to attract a mate. But listen closer, because woven into this timeless performance of the natural world, an unnatural thread has appeared. Something is broken. Those are not the sounds of this forest. They are the sounds of a world that is no longer here. They are echoes, memories, sonic ghosts. What if a bird could become a living recording of a world that has already vanished?
Okay, hold up. That's a party trick, right? Someone's off camera with a Bluetooth speaker. A bird can't just download a chainsaw noise.
It's no trick, and it's far more profound than a party trick. Let's unpack this. The lyrebird is the greatest mimic on Earth, but its genius isn't just in what it copies, it's in what it preserves. These birds don't just learn sounds from their immediate environment. They learn them from their elders, who learned them from their elders. They pass these sounds down through generations.
Wait, so you're saying a lyrebird today could be singing a sound its great-great-grandfather heard 100 years ago?
Precisely. Their song becomes a living, breathing archive of the forest's history, an acoustic library of voices that have long since fallen silent. And if that idea doesn't make you question everything you think you know about memory and nature, well, you're probably in the wrong place. For everyone else, now is the time to like this video and subscribe. This case file is a deep one. To understand how a bird can sing with the voices of the dead, we first need to understand the incredible biological machinery that makes it all possible. The heart of the lyrebird's genius is a piece of biological engineering that is almost alien in its complexity. Unlike our own simple larynx, all birds possess a vocal organ called the syrinx, located at the base of their windpipe. But the lyrebird's is in a class of its own.
Hang on, a syrinx? What does that actually mean? You say it's got a different bit of kit to us.
Completely different. Think of our vocal cords as a single guitar string. We can change the pitch, but it's one note at a time. The lyrebird syrinx has 3 independent pairs of muscular folds, not one. It's like a vocalist who is born with their own backing singers and a built-in harmonizer. It can produce multiple, unrelated sounds simultaneously, allowing it to perfectly replicate not just the melody of another bird, but its unique timbre and texture as well. But this incredible vocal ability begs a question. Why? The answer lies in one of the most powerful forces in nature, the brutal competition for a mate. For the female lyrebird, choosing a partner is a decision with enormous consequences. She is looking for a signal of experience, intelligence, and good genes.
So she's not just looking for a pretty face, she's looking for a good resume.
A sonic resume, to be precise. This is known as the vocal complexity hypothesis. The theory suggests that a male with a larger, more complex, and more difficult vocal repertoire is sending an honest signal of his quality. A song filled with difficult-to-copy sounds, from a tiny wren to a roaring chainsaw, is the lyrebird's equivalent of a university degree, a sports car, and a detailed financial statement all rolled into one. It's a costly, difficult-to-fake signal that says, I am a survivor, I am smart, and I have been around long enough to learn the song of this forest better than anyone else. The accuracy of its mimicry is startling. Scientific analysis shows its copies are often indistinguishable from the original to the human ear. It can perfectly reproduce the frantic call of a whip bird, the laughing chorus of a kookaburra, and the distinct songs of 20 other species, weaving them into a breathtaking 15-minute symphony. But its genius is not confined to the natural world. On the contrary, As the sounds of human industry have pushed deeper into its territory, the lyrebird has not fled from them. It has absorbed them.
So it's basically the forest's black box recorder. If a tree falls and no one's around to hear it, the lyrebird's probably got a bootleg copy of the crash.
But long before we had the science to understand it, the lyrebird's song was a source of profound confusion and even fear. Imagine being an early European settler in the 1800s, pushing into a forest that felt alien and menacing.
Right, every rustle in the bush is probably something that wants to kill you. The last thing you need is the forest itself playing mind games with you.
Precisely. The official reports from that era are filled with bizarre accounts. Bushmen swearing they heard a pack of hunting dogs, only to find nothing. Prospectors abandoning their claims after being haunted by the sound of a crying baby. Others reported hearing the unmistakable sound of an axe chopping wood, only to follow the noise and find a single small bird dancing on a mound of dirt. For these early colonists, the lyrebird wasn't a marvel. It was a trickster, a ventriloquist, a sonic goblin that perfectly embodied the unsettling strangeness of this new continent. But for these sounds to become ghosts, to echo long after their source is gone, simple mimicry isn't enough. The sound has to be passed on. This is where the lyrebird's culture, for want of a better word, becomes critical. A young male lyrebird is born with a voice, but not a song. His entire repertoire is learned. He will spend up to 3 years in a kind of apprenticeship, silently observing the most successful, dominant males in his patch of forest. He listens, he memorizes, and he practices in secret. Only when he has flawlessly recreated the master symphony, every chirp, every mimic, every ghost, will he dare to perform it himself. This is how the library is passed down, intact, from one generation to the next.
So it's the bird equivalent of being forced to learn your dad's terrible music from the 80s and then having to sing it perfectly to get a girlfriend. A tough gig.
Exactly. This is the detail you won't find in any textbook. It's not just about mimicry, it's about memory. Let's travel back in time. Imagine the Dandenong Ranges in the 1930s, when the Puffing Billy steam train ran through the fern gullies. To the local lyrebirds, its mournful whistle was just another sound in the landscape. Now, fast forward to today. The original train is long gone, replaced by a tourist replica on a different line. But deep in those forests, if you're lucky, you can still hear that original whistle echoing through the trees, sung by a bird who never heard it firsthand, but inherited it from an unbroken chain of masters who did.
That's actually pretty heavy. The sound has outlived the machine that made it. The echo is now louder than the original shout. It's a ghost, but one you can hear.
It is, and it leads to a chilling thought. Every single person who heard that original steam whistle is now gone. The metal, the tracks, the men who built it, all turned to dust. The only thing left in the entire universe that still holds a perfect living memory of that sound is this bird. It is the forest's immortal witness.
This ability to pass down sounds leads to the most tantalizing and haunting question in Australian ornithology. If a lyrebird can preserve the sound of a steam whistle from the 1890s, could it also preserve the call of a bird that went extinct in the 1920s?
On paper, the theory is sound. The official reports tell one story, that the last confirmed paradise parrot was seen in 1927. But the old-timers in that region, the lyrebirds, might tell you something else entirely. If a lyrebird living today learned its song from an unbroken chain of masters stretching back over a century, it is theoretically possible that its song contains the last remaining audio fragment of a species that science has declared silent forever. This isn't just a theory, it's a hunt. In 2002, the Tasmanian naturalist Cole Bailey claimed he had captured the Holy Grail, a recording of a lyrebird perfectly mimicking the distinct yapping bark of a thylacine.
Hang on. That's the smoking gun then. Case closed, surely?
Not quite. The scientific community analyzed the tape. The verdict was inconclusive. Most experts dismissed it as the call of another native bird distorted by the forest acoustics. For the believers, it remains a tantalizing piece of a puzzle, a ghost on a ghost tape.
So you're saying there's a chance we could find the last thylacine because a bird is basically singing its voicemail message from 1927? The legal implications of that alone are staggering.
It's a tantalizing possibility, though incredibly difficult to prove. But it forces us to ask a critical question about conservation. What does it mean if the very last trace of a species isn't a bone or a fossil, but a fleeting, beautiful, vocal performance? It suggests the forest's memory is longer and stranger than we can possibly imagine.
This is a heavy one for the legends, but I have to ask. Think about a sound from your own life that is now gone forever. The specific laugh of a grandparent, the sound of your first car's engine, a song you shared with someone you've lost. If a lyrebird could hold on to just one of those sonic ghosts for you, what would it be? Let us know in the comments.
In the end, the superb lyrebird is more than just a biological marvel. It's a living monument to change. Its song is a beautiful, evolving, and ultimately tragic record of everything its environment has endured and everything it has lost. It doesn't judge, it simply remembers.
It's a witness. It hears the forest get chopped down, and it doesn't protest, it just adds the chainsaw to the song. It's the ultimate historian, reminding us that nothing ever truly disappears if something is left to remember it.
And that is the lyrebird's final and most profound trick. It isn't just an archive of the forest, it has become an archive of us. The sounds it preserves are not random. They are the sounds of our ambition, our industry, our expansion, and ultimately our absence. The steam whistle is not just a sound. It is the memory of an entire era of human endeavor. The chainsaw is not just a noise. It is the sound of a wound being carved into the landscape.
So the bird isn't just mimicking us, it's building a monument to us out of thin air. A monument made of echoes.
A living memorial. It forces us to confront a chilling question. When we are long gone and our cities have crumbled, what will be the last remaining proof that we were ever here? It might not be our buildings or our books. It might be a small, brown bird, standing on a mound of birth in an ancient forest, singing the perfect lonely song of a car alarm to a world that has forgotten what a car even was.
Right, so that's the case file on the bird that sings with dead voices. Another story that proves this country is stranger and more incredible than we give it credit for. If you want to be there for the next journey into the weird, the best way to do that is to join the legends and come along for the ride.
Because the lyrebird story isn't over. Its ancient song continues to evolve, a living document of our own changing world. It leaves us with a profound and perhaps uncomfortable final question. The ghost of the chainsaw is a powerful echo of a destructive past, but our modern world is no longer just mechanical, it's digital.
As these new sounds bleed into the forest, what new sonic ghosts are we creating? Will the lyrebirds of the next century mimic the sound of a TikTok alert, the automated warning from a driverless car? What will the forest sound like when its oldest witness begins to sing the strange, sad, and synthetic song of us? And that brings us back to the most tantalizing ghost of all. The idea that this bird could be a living archive for the voice of an extinct animal. That possibility leads directly to the case file of Australia's most famous ghost. Science says the Tasmanian tiger is gone forever, but over 8,000 eyewitnesses say otherwise. It's a story that pits scientific fact against a mountain of human conviction. If you want to open the case file on that mystery and weigh the evidence for yourself, we highly recommend you watch our investigation next. The link is on the screen now.